We've got a great race coming up between Riler and MrMcFee.
Oh, for sure.
Getting started here.
Riler, obviously the favorite, but you just saw in the last race, Spezzy was the favorite, and it kind of fell apart there at the end.
Mhm.
So we will see if MrMcFee can pull the upset here. It's definitely possible.
Absolutely. The difference between a race and PB runs on your own in the comfort of your own Twitch stream, it's miles apart. The psychological advantage that you have by yourself without the pressure of another person racing you is huge.
Oh, sure. Especially because you get to reset and, you don't have the pressure of having to go faster than someone else.
Mhm. AC, as we get started with this race here, what are some moments that you're looking forward to seeing? What are your favorite points of the run to see which racer has what it takes to come home with the victory?
I always tell people it ultimately. I mean, it obviously comes down to Moon and escape sequence and if anyone screws up pillars, but largely it comes down to, Mecha Brutal. If you screw up Mecha Brutal, you could melt minutes away from this run. I have seen giant lead changes on that fight alone. So the good news is, since that's near the end, even if somebody takes a big lead here, which I don't think will happen right out of the gate, I think.
Oh,
I think
you
we're
do
gonna
see a
have a good
difference right
race.
here.
Yeah,
Couple of
we're
different
having a
strats.
divergence
Wow.
of paths. Riler going on the left, and that makes up a little bit of time.
McPhee taking the right side up the giant hat at the 4 of the Cap Kingdom. Little safer, a little slower.
Otaku
Both
Logan apparently just ruined the pay output by betting 11,000 points on Riley.
This is
Riler,
how
excuse me.
gambling works in Vegas. If there's a lot of money moving towards one side, other side, you can make a
Yeah, but
real
if you
killing.
pay that side, you get the price of whatever you pay. In Twitch, I paid at like 50-50 odds, and now I'm getting like 20-80 odds.
Yeah, no, you got rocked. Unfortunately, both Ryler and McPhee now rolling their way through the prehistoric jungles,
To be clear,
capturing a chain jump.
Michael and I both split our vote just because we could. So I don't want to make it seem like we're trying to rig this race, or not rig. Obviously, we have no
We have no
possible.
control.
Yeah, this is completely out of our control. If it was in our control, honestly, I'd be a little concerned.
Yeah, why would we? If both runners are only using one Joy-Con and you have one and I the other?
Anyway, I don't think we're
No.
going to see anything too crazy here. As we move on to Division A, we might see some DSS skip. We might see some chest clip, but I think these runners are going to go pretty safe in this kingdom as MrMcFee misses a cap bounce, but that's not a big deal. Only losing about a second early in the run. Riler up to the top first try. MrMcFee missing the trampoline. That's going to cost him a couple seconds.
There's a small
again,
trampoline there.
and,
Those are some
taking-
big dinosaur feet.
Taking his anger out on some chain chomps. There we go. There we go.
Oh,
Yeah,
just
that
making it.
It always gives me pause, or at least it did, because that hitbox is gigantic, so you can hit the front of it and still be fine. Riler with
Absolutely.
a
It
great
looks like a bong.
Exactly. Well, I mean, it is a bonk, but you still get credit for it.
Yeah. Ryler defeating the mother-in-law. McPhee still backflipping on the pet of this horrendous woman.
Yeah, how dare she, what did she do again?
Existed.
Fair point.
She dared.
That's video games for you.
She
If you
dared to
dare
climb
exist,
a mountain
You will be defeated.
and wear a necklace that Mario decided he wanted. Let it be known, Mario is the villain of Mario Odyssey.
Mario actually was the villain of Donkey Kong 2, wasn't he?
Donkey Kong Original. Or no, you're right. You're right. Donkey Kong 2. Yes, Donkey Kong Jr. Absolutely. Yeah, he's
Riler getting
horrendous.
sniped by the chain chomp. That's interesting. I don't think I've ever seen that.
Hmm. Here's McPhee coming up to collect his final moon of the Cascade Kingdom.
Yeah, Troy, the commentators are allowed to bully any boss they want. Where have you been?
Dare to oppose Mario, and you will earn our ire.
She deserves it.
All right, Riler with the fade out.
Yeah, Riler's going to be in a pretty solid lead here. Obviously, DSS, or the not DSS. DSS is where you go to the right and go up on the bones and stuff. Because dinosaurs skip. Anyway.
I got it at
Riler
about
gets the
16 seconds. The lead, Riler over McPhee. 16 seconds is where my internal clock is at, which admittedly is broken. I did have to stop playing drums as a child because of my lack of rhythm.
Yeah, that would be important.
My internal clock, not what you need to be to carry the rhythm section.
Anyway, Riler going to get started here on the Sand Kingdom. This is one of a few kingdoms where if you were here for our World Peace Open a while back, this is one of the two kingdoms that is drastically different. Obviously, we are not going to be fighting any of the bosses that we would normally fight. And we're going to save quite a bit of time, although Riler takes a fall here. Opportunity for MrMcFee to catch up.
Mm-hmm. This is a tricky spot to make a mistake in, too, because daylight savings time skip is in effect here. These runners have a maybe 10-15 second window to collect this moon and get out to trick their Switch's system into thinking an hour has gone by and giving them a free power moon.
Well, it worked for Riler. That's good news.
Riler getting that moon that he dare not dream of were he not manipulating his Switch, and now rolling into the back of the store. These poor employees, no idea what's going on, dialing the police as we speak.
Oh, he did get it.
McPhee as well.
Okay, that's a relief for MrMcFee.
Daylight savings skip. Riler
really
rolling out.
That they were able to figure that out.
Oh, the daylight savings time skip? Yeah, absolutely. How... And to save time with it even is like a wild thing. To like realize, oh, this is an area where we can do it.
Right, I mean, you're right there.
I would never have put it together. But again, I should point out, I am very dumb.
That makes
Riler.
sense. Yeah, the speedrun community has a way of coming up with some pretty wild tricks, including this one. It's not the hardest. Oh, wow, I was gonna say it's not the hardest trick, but Riler just messed it up, and that's gonna cost him quite a bit of time. Opportunity for McPhee to make up some time, although a little bit of a bonk on the top of that pillar there. As Riler
see if he can
his way back
sneak his cap up there.
Oh, actually,
collect
Mr.
a
McPhee's not
bullet
gonna
bill.
go for it.
Doesn't even need it. Moving on with his life.
That trick does save quite a bit of time, so I'm kind of surprised that he has not learned it yet. A little bit
I
of
wonder
an
if it's
issue
the
breaking
distinction
that box.
between a marathon run and an individual PB attempt. But Riler now capturing a bullet bill, scooting off into the wild frontier, and getting that sweet hot power moon.
Yeah, admittedly, it is a little frustrating as Mr. McFee takes a bonk there on the corner. Luckily, lands on the stairs so he can make it right back up. It is a little bit frustrating as a commentator and as a viewer having to watch this game in Chinese, which is a language that I do not speak. Riler take a death! That is the first death of the match. And I don't know where it's going to spawn him. Oh, it's going to spawn him at the exit of Cappy Cap. That is devastating because he's got a long way to go back.
Absolutely. This is going to change the lead. This is something I saw in a race yesterday where one runner missed Jaxie skip 2 times in a row. Employees only exit is where you land, and here comes Riler. He's got another power moon. He's back on a course.
Yeah, let's see if we can get a Jaxie skip here out of Mr. McFee. We can, and that means that all of a sudden he's going to come into the lead.
Unbelievable. Not only did he get a power moon from that roof, but also a treasure chest full of coins.
And that'll be important later when he goes to Cappy Cap to buy some moons. Because this game, as we know, is pay to win.
We must all participate in capitalism if we are to succeed in this society.
That would be really, really awful. Like a speedrun where you had to pay real money.
I mean, there are instances when, getting a higher-end PC, upping the frame rate, lets you, in, say, Resident Evil 2 Remake, knife a boss more times than the developers allowed you to. That's pay to win, baby.
Sure,
McFee
obviously, better equipment is one thing.
You don't want to go to the eShop and buy a token that gives you the world record in WarioWare.
Exactly.
I get that.
Anyway, MrMcFee all wrapped up. We got a little bit of a screen freeze on Riler. Hopefully we get that back under control. And it looks like we have. So MrMcFee is going to go to the Odyssey first. How's that internal clock looking?
Exactly as I predicted. I said early on that McFee would get to the globe in Sand Kingdom at 11:08, and I was right. So about a 12-second difference.
I came up with 15, but the Brutals will sadly have to move on. They did not get a chance to fight Mario. The evil
Can you imagine being one of those Brutals? You're just up in your ship. You're like, all right, you ready? They're up there pumping iron. Mario just leaves. Unbelievable.
Honestly, credit to the devs of this game for realizing that people are going to cheese this level and coding that.
This is my favorite part of the run right here, the Lake Kingdom. Not great for gameplay, but for music, truly beautiful.
That it is.
There's a little coin snake hopping out of the bushes. McFee grabbing the first power moon of the level.
Yeah, MrMcFee misses the 10 coins. I don't think that is too big of an issue.
Be here turning into a zipper, if you can believe it.
In fact, Riler didn't grab it either, so it's definitely not important. Well, it is time for... Oh, actually, never mind. They're not going to go for chest clipping. Or chest clip. Whatever that clip. Lake clip.
Lake clip.
Yeah. It'll be very frustrating in Division A to see these runners, take 15 attempts at lake clip as Riler is now going for lake clip.
Here he goes. Will he make it, folks?
This can often, in higher level play, make or break runs, as we see Riler getting it on his second or third try. He gets the checkpoint. That is a great start. And so that'll be an opportunity for him to make some time back up after he took that death on Jaxie skip.
Riler doesn't even need to worry about this brutal up here.
I told Troy this all the time, but for some reason, I forget this boss's name. I think it's Rango. I always call him Larry. I do not know why I call him Larry.
I get that.
For some reason, my brain has just registered Larry as this boss's.
I have refused, to learn any of the Brutals' names and make up names for them every time I see him. This guy, last time I remember calling him Philip, because he reminds me of my friend Philip from elementary school, a tall, lanky young lad.
You know what's funny is I also have a tall, lanky friend named Philip.
It's a lanky name, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Logan, clip that. Clip that. Anyway, MrMcFee, all done here. He went for the safe route, which forces you to fight Rango or Larry or Philip. Riler getting the lake clip, which means that you do not have to fight that boss. But actually, looks like MrMcFee is going to get to the Odyssey a little bit quicker. And I don't think Riler actually ended up saving any time in this level. Maybe he did. Maybe he saved a couple seconds.
Yeah, I believe that the McFee lead has been cut into, but is certainly not eliminated. Riler's still going in a bit behind the 8-ball. Certainly not enough that he could not make it up.
I'm sure. Let's see what fade out here is. 12 seconds.
Okay.
So if you were correct and the last level was 12 seconds, these two were dead even. Unfortunately, Riler is not playing with splits, so we are kind of just free-balling it.
As I love to do. Both runners now making their way to the Wooded Kingdom.
MrMcFee also making his way to the chat to say, okay.
There he is.
Yep.
making his presence known.
The Mad Lad. Quick break at that rock. That is always important. Uh-oh, he is now talking in chat. That's not a good sign.
Here we see Riler also collecting
well,
bright blue power
that
moon.
would be why. He just decided to get a really good look and is losing time to menuing and Cappy Cap. That is a new one.
Unfortunate.
Oh, wait. So Riler is actually going to make up a couple seconds here. Although, did Riler not buy that moon? Does he not have 100 coins? It's hard to tell, but he didn't buy that moon.
We'll see if he can improv.
Not have 100 coins.
Yeah, if there's another moon he can grab on his way.
I do not know what the backup here is because I don't think I've ever seen anyone not have 100 coins at this point.
We were just talking about how both runners missed those 10 coins, and it looks like it's going to cost Riler. Here he is, moving through, collecting a great nut click.
Unfortunately, MrMcFee not able to get it, and that's going to open the door up for Riler.
This man is just running through solid rock, and then, would you believe it, jumping through the ground. Shouldn't be possible, and yet it is.
That was interesting. MrMcFee was able to stop himself on the wall. I did not know that was a thing. But apparently it is.
Unbelievable.
Riler will just do Piranha Plant instead of skipping it. Okay. Thank you, Troy. Troy would know.
That makes sense. That Piranha Plant is good to just have an extra power moon waiting for anybody who misses a clip, runs out of coins, etc. Here we see this little onion ball. God bless him.
And in fact, here we go to fight the Piranha. Usually this is skipped because it is not necessary. Although I just walked away from it and the moon didn't spawn. At least I don't think the moon spawned. So Riler ahead, technically, but he will have to collect an extra moon. And that will cost him some time. Okay, the moon did spawn. And MrMcFee's also going to go for it. That is interesting.
Perhaps thinking there's another moon later he'd prefer not to get.
Well, you figure with the 106 PB, he's probably going for some safer strats. He's, you know, obviously not necessarily taking the most optimal route because it is significantly riskier. So he's going to, I assume, hit this P switch instead of going for a big skip. And, you know, for the cost of a little bit of time, it's safer and you get a moon on the way.
Sounds good to me. I love a safe strat.
I'm sorry. Yeah, that's right. He had to get it because he felt nut clip. Never mind.
That tracks too. I still hope he finds a way to skip a moon and pick up an extra moon because, again, I like seeing runs where moons are improvised on the fly.
Certainly it is more interesting as a viewer. Although we do have a couple lead changes. That's really the most important part to me. The most frustrating runs of this game are the ones where somebody takes a lead, like going to the switch in Cat Kingdom, and that's the only lead change of the game.
That's it.
And then they just go wire to wire, and it's like, well, this race was over in 15 seconds. This race was definitely not over in 15 seconds because we've already had
absolutely. Riler mistiming his jump dive and giving Mario some jelly legs as he landed on the ground. Collecting a nut. Another moon, moving right along.
Does Riler have an extra moon? Because I think there are 2 moons in this section. As MrMcFee's going for Spewart, so there we go, another diverging route. With the underground section here. And you know what? Riler is going to get the last moon because he needed 2 moons. Never mind. I thought maybe because this has very precise cycles. Well, you see, Spezzy, it is hard to tell because Riler is playing on webcam.
Going to be able now is Riler to pop over to the Odyssey by way of map, skipping any cutscenes that MrMcFee has to watch, having fought that Brutal, who I am going to name Blompathy.
Wow.
Yeah, and I'll tell you why I name him Blompathy, because it's the name that again, I always see this Brutal dressed up like a young British boy coming from the aristocracy, and it feels like they have names like Blompathy. Come out of your room, it's time for tea.
Yeah,
That's why.
That was a 6 out of 10 British accent.
Thank you. That's more than I normally get.
The good news for MrMcFee is that he's going to spawn back at the Odyssey. So Riler will have about a 20-second lead just based on routing. Again, anything possible down the stretch. We've already seen several lead changes. You know, Riler takes another death, and who knows?
Absolutely, anything can happen. Here in Cloud Kingdom, Riler gonna go mono with the Bowser.
You go. There's another death.
That's the death we were just talking about, right?
Yeah.
Bonks into a cloud, falls into the sky.
Now that's not necessarily a particularly costly death. It will cost him a solid 10 seconds, maybe more. Yeah, I think MrMcFee is now down about 8 to 10 seconds. But we should not be losing any time here on this Bowser fight.
Absolutely not. No, he's giving you a robot hat to punch him with. All right, this fight should be over instantly.
Yes. Well,
McFee missing said robot hat. Frustrated enough to take a capture.
Well, at least he saved it that time. It is very frustrating if you have to go chase Bowser. He did not have to, and that kind of wipes out that death from Riler. Makes that even Stevens. And I'm really curious, where else did Riler die? He fell into the poison on Jaxie Skip in the Sand Kingdom. MrMcFee took a pretty sizable lead, but he missed Nut Clip, and he had some alternate routing that was not as optimal as Riler's. So that is how Riler currently has a decent lead, about 15 seconds. Hey, thanks for doing stats, Troy.
Oh, Troy. What a pal. Riler hops over the entirety of the poison using the meme tree. Here, smacking a bird with his hat. Feels cruel to me, but what do I know? Oh, and MrMcFee taking a bonk.
It's just a quick one. Not a big deal. Yeah, I'm curious to see if we're going to have any alternate routing in this stage. Obviously, being in the B division, some of these racers are going to go for safer strats, and there are a lot of difficult strats in this level, where if you mess up one, it can kind of have a compounding snowball effect. I've seen runners lose minutes upon minutes in this stage and turn close races into blowouts.
Riler just gave me a heart attack jumping into that bird, which, as we all know, is a thief. Prefers to steal Mario's hat, if at all possible.
Riler going a little safer, going with the damage hit.
Tricked that spiked man into exploding a magic block for him, did Riler.
MrMcFee going to avoid taking the damage. That saves a little bit of time. And Riler going with the safer shooting strat. I do not blame him. And I don't think either of these runners are going to go for bridge skip. Riler is not. And in fact, MrMcFee is going to go a different way. Which includes getting the moon under the bridge. Never mind. He just didn't do the shooting strat. And tried bridge skip. Did not get it, but that is okay because he spawns back at the Odyssey.
I said this last race too. That death feels like it should be faster. It spawns you right back to the Odyssey, and yet I do know intellectually it is not.
It does save like a second and a half, and obviously that's 10 less coins that you need to buy in, or you need to acquire before Snow Kingdom.
Which up until this race I would not have thought was a big deal, and then we saw what happened.
Yeah.
Or Sweet Riler, R.I.P. Coin count.
On the bright side for Riler, he will definitely have 100 coins in the Snow Kingdom because he didn't lose the 100 to start with.
Right?
Unless he takes 50 deaths.
This man is rich. He could even buy himself a pair of boxer shorts.
Or a super hard. Just play it really safe.
Get yourself a super hard. Riler looking nice, climbing this vertical building up, catching a moon between the girders. Looking nice. We'll see if Mr. McFee can do the same.
Very technical platforming stage is Night Metro.
Slight hiccup for McFee. Didn't like a jump he made. Went backwards, but now back on track. Looking good. Oh, that Goomba took a bonk to the noggin on Mr. McFee's side.
Well, speaking of a bonk on Mr. McFee's side.
You give one, you get one. That's how they say. That's what they say, rather.
Riler, a little bit of a slip up there, but he's able to save it.
Riler having more trouble navigating City Hall than a first-year state senator.
That, I'm assuming, was a pre-prepared line.
No, I just thought it was pretty good.
That's something that you came up with that on the fly.
Thank you. Riler entering the Mecha Wiggler fight, the major source of RNG for this run, as I understand it.
Well, you definitely want to hit your shots pretty cleanly here. If you miss a couple, that's fine. If you have to go through an extra cycle, it's devastating.
Different patterns the Mecha Wiggler can take. Some better than others. I do love this strat of tricking the Mecha Wiggler into taking a tiny little shortcut into the corners. We don't have time for him to run all the way across the stage.
And definitely these runners, as most speedrunners like to do, want to squeeze out every possible second. As this is the moment of truth for Riler. Oh, he's got hits all over the place, but I think he's got it.
Wow.
Oh my god, he missed it.
He missed it!
He missed it. And Mr. McFee is in a little bit of trouble, but he's got it, and that means Mr. McFee's going to take the lead. We told you that there are a lot of swingy points in this run, and all of a sudden, Mr. McFee is going to take a pretty sizable lead.
This Mecha Wiggler came for Riler, and he did not miss.
That one spot they just cannot get, and that is what cost him a giant lead. And instead, Mr. McFee coming in with a giant lead.
Here we go, collecting a triple moon. Mario, as excited as Mr. McFee himself should be right now. Overjoyed to be collecting that triple moon.
Gonna have about a 20-second lead here.
You know, I don't know if it was designed intentionally for speedrunners, but the fact that Mario wears a white cap throughout all speedruns, do you think that was intentional from the developers to let it be made clear visually that someone is speedrunning?
I don't know about that. I'm sure a lot of people that aren't aware that you can change costumes might just leave it on for the entire game.
Sure.
Or are just too lazy to change it.
Mr. McFee taking possession of a human man, one with his own soul, own feelings, own family, own mother, and deciding what he will do, and that was drive an RC car into a power moon.
If any of you have not read There Are No Game Overs, everybody stop what you're doing, stop watching this speedrun, and go read There Are No Game Overs. It is one of the single best pieces of fiction I have ever read.
Oh
it's
my.
like 1 page long too. It's brutally intense.
I did just Google it, and we'll read through it after the race.
Thank you. Mr. McFee did not go for RC skip. Riley did get the scooter clip. He's going to stop and take a little chat, as did Mr. McFee. But
always nice to bring a little bit of friendship.
Certainly.
A little bit of joy to that poor man's life. He's sitting alone on a bench, and then he gets to make friends with a short cartoon man.
Now, as a reminder, Mario is canonically human, as are these citizens of New Donk City. Ryler gonna go for the slot machine here. He
If I can make
pays
a
10
local...
coins, and you can see he is only at 65 coins, even despite not being able to purchase that moon earlier.
Oh, wow.
So I do not know how that is possible.
Riler needs to start making some money. Perhaps it's time to take a job at the Dairy Queen before he makes it to Snow Kingdom. That's what I always assume I'll do if I lose my job and can't make money. I'll just always get a job at Dairy Queen. We were talking a second ago about how Mario is human.
Wow! Ryler landing on the edge of the building. I did not even know you could stand there, but that saves him from death number 3 as he came up short on this chest moon.
Truly some clutch moves from Riler. Things could be going far worse than they have been, and yet he keeps pulling it back.
Sorry, you were saying?
The idea that Mario is human and the humans of New Donk City are human, and yet they look so different. I did move a couple years ago to Los Angeles, California, where everybody is the most beautiful human being you've ever met. And whenever I go home to my hometown of Osseo, Minnesota, damn, that difference between Mario and these people is the difference between the beautiful people in Los Angeles and the regular people in Minnesota.
Man, Minnesota people burn. MrMcFee having a lot of trouble collecting this moon on the spire. Finally gets it.
We'll see him now
give
dive
Ryler
into
a little
a
bit of an
pool.
opportunity to catch up.
Got that pool moon. And now...
Oh, there's the hint
bounce.
part. Smart. Let's see if Ryler grabs it as well. And he does, so Ryler is taken care of for Snow Kingdom. Now MrMcFee goes for slot machine, so I wonder where his last moon is going to be. Oh, no, there's 2 in this room. Isn't there? Yeah, there's 2 in this room.
Yep.
I'm sorry, this is not the slot machine room. Okay.
In
and
the people
Ryler also
room.
needs 2.
I heard this room referred to as the People's Room yesterday, and I thought that would be fun if late 90s WWF The Rock showed up. The People's Champion stays in the People's Room.
I see.
Yep.
Good.
I'm going to go home, everybody. Riler popping back to the Odyssey, using the map to warp on over. McPhee already globed.
Yeah, Tombo, we play more than one game here at Speedrun, twitch.tv/Speedrun. MrMcFee is in a slight lead. We will see how that fares in the second half of the run here. We have another diverging path. Most runners are going to go to Snow next.
I got an 8-second difference, counting from various fade-outs.
That sounds right.
So, McPhee, 8-second lead as he heads off to the next kingdom, Kingdom of Snow. This is my favorite part of the run, when Mario runs into his dear friend Captain Toad and immediately abandons him to a cold death by the elements.
Well, no, he frees him, and then Captain Toad, having better Wi-Fi signal because he's not encased in a block of ice, can, contact the other Toads on WhatsApp or TikTok or whatever the kids are using these days.
I so very much, AC, prefer your interpretation. I had assumed that Toad was trapped behind this snow wall, but or rather that he had. What you say is that he was trapped behind the snow wall. I had thought he was taking refuge there, creating a slight bit of distance from the snow in a little cave that Mario ruins and then abandons him. But I like that better. I like him getting out, living another day.
We will have to go back and check the dialogue to see what is officially canon.
That's fair.
I believe he got stuck there. Usually Captain Toad likes to get himself into a pickle.
Yeah. Yeah, we can't read it. It's in Chinese at the moment, but someday a casual runner will read and let us know.
Mr. McPhee misses snow clip. I don't know if Ryder has it. Ryler has it either. He does.
Ooh, there he is. It's going to be another chance for Riler to
Mr.
make up some of that distance.
Hits a bonk, and that means that Ryler has taken about a 1 second lead. Another lead change.
Incredible. I always think that jump into the hidden moon in the Joey Blowy room here is incredible. It looks good. It looks smooth. It looks nimble, lithe.
It is certainly aesthetically pleasing.
And both Mr. McPhee and Riler here blowing a number of spiny shell men off the bridge to their doom, collecting themselves a power moon.
They do have to sit and wait for that disc to be removed, which is irrelevant because unfortunately we will not be headed to the Bound Bowl, which is unfortunate for our restreamer Saren, who will not get to guess a meme Princess's Secret slide time. So in honor of our esteemed restreamer who has spent the majority of the last 4 days restreaming this race, please honor him by putting in your Princess Peach's slide race guess times. I'm going to go 12:6.
I will say 13-4.
Well, this is Division B, I guess.
That is the time I feel like I always get on Princess Peach's secret slide. Here comes Riler coming out the tube. Done breaking Bowser seals in the platform rooms. Moving on to Cappy Cap, where he will be purchasing a moon in theory. He is able to do it this time, folks. Riler
Well, thanks to that hint art in Metro.
That's going to be what does it?
Yeah. Now,
nothing more stressful than when you go out to eat at a restaurant and you don't know if you've got the money in your bank account to pay the bill. Oh, I felt just now.
No. That is not a problem I have. So I cannot empathize.
Oh, well, great. Mr. Richie Rich over here. AC Money, not just a name.
AC Money.
Riler with an incredible snow dram.
In all seriousness, that was a very quick snow dram. Let's see if Mr. McPhee can reciprocate. I don't know that he has the height. Ah, so close.
Half a pixel off. Warping back to the Odyssey.
That is devastating because this was such a close match.
Trying it again, setting it up.
Match.
Still a lot of choke points in this run.
Yes.
Oh, that was a nice one.
We did say in the open, it could very well all come down to Mecha Brutal. If one of these two runners makes a boo-boo.
A lot of places where you can die suddenly. I mean, listen, Mario is about to fight a giant, realistic dragon. That's dangerous for anyone. That's not going to be the point where the race turns around, folks.
No, that is the point where we start hyping up the Urban Arts partnership because it is such a non-factor.
I do think it's pretty insane that Mario, like, psychologically has gone from fighting the cutest little mushroom people to all of a sudden history's most frightening dragon. Troy, I do apologize. I did not mean to spoil. This was, of course, as you told us, your first time watching Super Mario Odyssey. What better context to first experience this game than a speedrun on a webcam?
But Riler, Seaside, I forgot the name of this kingdom for a second. And the good news is I don't have to say the Squidward boss's name because I don't remember it. It has been a while since I have called World Peace.
That boss, I of course know that his name is King Octocroc. Is that it? I have no idea. That was me making up. That one wasn't as pulled from my own life experiences as Philip was. Although I did have a friend in elementary school.
Silver the Third.
That's too bad.
Dauphin of Bublane, something.
We'll see Riler here coming up on yet another clip. We'll see if, or rather, we'll see if he goes for it. Presumably they will. Collecting a quick power moon, but there is a sequence here where the runners can jump out of bounds, go into the depths of the ocean beyond what the coders even intended.
Yeah, supposedly this is a pretty easy clip, I have been told. So we'll see if they're both able to get it. There we go.
I've definitely seen a number of runners miss it. But they do get it eventually, so we'll see. Here we go. Riler.
Oh, he did get it.
Nailed it. Try. Nailed it. They'll sneak back behind the scenes. Pick up a quick power moon.
Outside of that hitbox. And he's got to keep going into the depths there to grab this treasure moon.
It looked as though Riler was going to pop up out of the out-of-bounds section, but did make it into that loading zone from behind.
Troy, I will take you up on that. I do believe this is the latest update, Jam. As we see MrMcFee a first try.
Wow, both runners.
Good work.
Smacking this clip out of the park.
Reason being that even though some of the clips have been fixed, although not all of them, running on digital on this version saves like 50 seconds in load times over 1.0 physical.
Incredible. Taking out some of the hardest skips and getting to go faster overall, it's a huge benefit for every single speedrunner.
Always gonna have load optimization. Props to the devs. As we see Riler coming up now. On to Luncheon Kingdom, one of my favorite kingdoms, although it is supposedly not fun for the runners because there are a lot of difficult points in this kingdom.
It feels like there's a lot of angles to the geometry of this level where a runner can make a mistake, find themselves falling in ways that they hadn't even experienced before, just like what happened to Riler.
But should be a quick recovery. Obviously, you'll have to refill his health on this moon, which loses a couple seconds, but Now, I don't think either of these runners will be going for Spewart Skip. Okay, it's savable. It's savable if he can land this. Smart. Now, that is game knowledge, knowing that there was a low platform there.
Very clutch backup from Riler.
Preventing himself from taking a very costly death. He would have spawned back at the Odyssey.
You're now going mano-y-mano with Blimpathy. One of the worst brutals of all.
Yeah, definitely in the bottom 4.
Terrible digestive tract is spewing true toxin. McFee bonking into the moon.
I do not believe that is optimal.
No, but it looked like he was stunted.
It was entertaining. We'll see if
and Blimpathy again.
We'll see if MrMcFee can get a quicker Spewart kill than Riler. It looked like Riler took some time to grab a heart or something. Uh-oh. There's a miss.
Riler,
okay, there.
At the last second, switching to a 100% run, going to pick up all items in this game. Before moving on, that's not true.
Yeah, 100% would be pretty frustrating. Especially because, like, one of the costumes you have to... Uh-oh. Can Riler save it? He, I think, does.
Wow.
Another incredible save. That's 3 now in this level where he's fallen into the lava and managed to use the game's geometry to save himself.
Riler, this man's a cat. All right? He's climbing all over this area. You think he's falling, but instead, 9 lives minimum for Riler. Although, it should be said, this game does not have lives, it only has coins.
There are no game overs.
Missing the moon.
Buddy. There you go. You are not collecting forks in this game, although that would make for an interesting game. One of these days we have to do like either 100% or an all moons race. I'll sit here and commentate for 9 hours. That'd be entertaining.
I would love to do that.
Troy, you win GSA, 9-hour run?
If GSA can pick up my pizza ordering tab, I am happy to spend 9 hours commentating
We'll start a
single
GoFundMe,
speedrun.
perhaps, or a bit goal. Oh, well, there you go. Riler finally bit off a little bit more than he can chew.
It caught up to him.
Yeah.
Only so many times you can survive those kind of slip-ups. Of course, MrMcFee also getting a slight bonk on the way, picking up the wrong turnip.
Shout out to Super Mario Brothers 2, pulling out vegetables from the ground.
Really one of the most impressive feats of animation in this game, that they make Mario's character model able to carry the bizarre-shaped turnip the same way he did in that game.
I guess you're right.
Always very impressed that they could stretch Mario's arms and make it not look insane. This fork room that Riler is in, one of the most aesthetically pleasing challenges in all of Super Mario Odyssey.
Yeah, it's one
You're
of the more
smacking-
fun mini rooms, I'd say. It's not
Smacking
super
forks
difficult.
left and right.
They have quite a few moons to go in this kingdom. 19 to collect in all. I think they're both gonna... Riler taking a bonk. I think they're both gonna go for meat. As we see MrMcFee going with the fork flick, rather than Riler, who went all the way to the top and then parkoured over. We also don't have Invisiblock get here, which is a little unfortunate because that is an incredibly aesthetically pleasing trick.
The clip into that little cage that Riler just opened.
So there's some invisible coin blocks. They would have skipped sewer if they weren't getting meat. Yeah, I figured as much. It has been quite some time since I have called any percent, and it was very top level any percent. So I'm imagining that these runners are going for some safer strats that I might not quite be entirely aware of, but I'm looking forward to learning. Anyway, there's an invisible block up here in this area that you can like triple jump and get like one of the invisible blocks and then do the double dive hat bounce thing.
Riler collecting one of the more precarious moons in the game. Some expert level jumping, diving, and butt stomping to get that one. Here he is collecting the meat, shaking the salt off.
Yeah, this is the easiest multi-moon in the game because it requires like 2 jumps. Well, that was a doozy.
Yeah, as we mentioned how easy it is, we see Riler take a couple of spills.
I do not think I've ever seen anyone die there. I'm sure somebody has, but that was scary. Cookateel getting ready to throw a hissy fit, and we will not be here to see it.
That's how you're supposed to treat toddlers when they misbehave. You just warp away. MrMcFee, we see also shaking the salt off. Much like my father, neither of these runners believe that the meal is complete without some meat.
I mean, he's right.
I love a good meatless meal. McFee catching that multi-moon as well. Riler all the way in outer space, traveling to his next destination.
See, I thought you were going to be like, and like my father, we are going to be out of here and ignore our children or something. I'm like, oh my god. And then you were like, something about dinner. I'm like, phew.
Like my father, I'm about to ignore both of these runners who I care deeply about because I can't get over my own emotional issues. Stay tuned, more GSA after this.
And speaking of after this, looks like we're going to take a quick commercial break and tell you all about the Urban Arts Partnership. Now, as you guys know, we live in a day and age where computer skills are so incredibly important. My job is 90 to 95% coding. I don't even have a computer science degree. My degree's in math. But, you know, I was lucky enough to get into college. I learned some introductory programming, and it really set me on the right course for job success. Unfortunately, not everyone in this country or in our society have the same opportunities, and that is where the Urban Arts Partnership has come in. They have helped tens of thousands of students get into college, and what's really cool is they help people learn, or they help prospective students learn coding skills and computer skills through video games, which is why this partnership is so important to us. We obviously love video games here at Speedrun, and so do the kids of the Urban Arts Partnership. So they're learning incredibly vital skills. They're getting into college, and they're learning game design. So, you know, why play a video game when you can make a video game? That's... I just
said
heard
it for
Mr.
years,
Twister's
folks.
comment, I'm sorry. So... please do go check out the Urban Arts Partnership. Please do donate if you are able. Very noble work that they are doing.
Absolutely.
And
A
that
great
is how
cause.
you completely ignore a supposedly crucial part of the run. Just like my father, because he has narcolepsy.
Oh. And by crucial part of the run, you mean your band concert that he promised he would come to.
Well, he was my mom's ride, so he kind of had to.
Good, good. Both these runners taking out an electricity dragon.
The moral of the
Historically
story
known.
is that both of my parents are supportive and love each other very much. Anyway, we're going to be on to Bowser Kingdom.
Love it. Yeah, your parents are great.
Anyway, thank you for doing the UAP in the chat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, great cause. Click that link, learn a little more. We'll be doing a donation drive later, but for now, learn about the Urban Arts Partnership. It's great. A great cause.
So
both these runners
Riler taking
Eager.
a decent-sized lead, about 20-25 seconds into Bowser, but really, Riler misses target acquired, he misses topper acquired, and this run is a whole different ballgame. We've seen already Riler has made a couple huge mistakes that MrMcFee has taken huge leads on. He's just not been able to capitalize. Riler has had a lot cleaner movement, a lot riskier strats.
High risk, high reward seems to be the strategy.
Certainly. Quick bonk from Riler, won't lose too much time.
Slight bonk. Moving on to the next Bowser section, turning himself into electricity. Do you think that Mario's ability to turn himself into electricity came from defeating that fire dragon just seconds ago? And by fire dragon, I mean electricity dragon.
No, because he's already done it several times in this run.
Damn, that's a great point. It does it all the time. Do you think that's why Mario felt the need to destroy that electricity dragon, so he could be the only electricity-powered monster in this
There can be only one.
He's truly the Highlander.
Do not clip that, that's illegal. MrMcFee gonna go for an alternate route back here. Unfortunately, he was supposed to dram back up, and he didn't. But that's okay, he's gonna hop right back up. Riler likely going to go for a little bit riskier of an alternate moon. You do have to collect 2 extra moons here. So we'll see which ones Riler chooses. MrMcFee's already picked one. And we saw in the last race a pretty epic save here. I don't think we're going to see it again, because I don't think we'll ever see it again.
No. Last race, one of the runners literally fell off the edge and somehow tricked the game into thinking he did not.
Naturally, like my father, I was too busy because I was supporting my family and putting food on the table. See what I did there? Because was that the
I liked it a lot. I liked
Thank
it. You
you.
were
Thank
incredible work.
Thank you. I promise we will. I will not promise that we will take the end of this run more seriously. But
yeah, we'll see.
These runners are doing
we're gonna
excellent
see.
job. Yes.
Ooh, nice dram from Riler, bopping back over to that electricity pole, scooting his Electric Mario way over to the next Bowser section.
MrMcFee getting sniped by a bomb. Riler gonna go Harriet first. I know we are very passionate about that in our chat. We're not gonna see Sarbamba. That's really only used by the very top runners, which is unfortunate because it is such a visually appealing strat. MrMcFee getting sniped again by the bird, but
And Riler,
his health will reset.
for himself, taking a bit of a bonk to this brutal lady right here, who I, of course, know as Dixie Kong.
I can see that.
It's the only one I remember consistently. Is there any actual advantage to picking one of these brutals first over the other, or is it preference?
I seem to remember picking Harriet first saves like a quarter of a second or something, but chat is resoundingly telling me no, so I might just be making that up. Like my father, I tell lies to my children to make them feel better. MrMcFee going topper first. Everybody get your GSA T's out in chat if you are a sub. That is a very rarely used emote, but has been here since I have started commentating, which was like almost 2 years ago now.
Wow. A veteran.
Yeah, it's like the very, very beginning of the pandemic. So I began commentating 15 years ago is what I'm trying to say.
Sure, yeah.
I was a wee innocent lad.
Much like my father, you don't even remember when you started this job. It's just what you do every day. You get up, you don't complain.
Well, at least both of our fathers can hold a steady job. Anyway, MrMcFee is currently fighting Harriet, or as my color commentator knows him, Dixie Kong. Dixie Kong. Wow, I am misgendering Harriet. I have been canceled. I have been the AC Money, and I will see you never.
Have a great night, folks.
In all seriousness, yeah.
Riler taking that Pokio.
And Riler currently climbing the wall.
Spinning and poking.
Well, poking at a steel wall.
Missing a couple of pokes, but...
And loses the bird. That's okay, he's gonna get another one.
This is a fresh bird.
Yes.
He likes the pokes better.
Lots of extra energy in this one. Not that there's an energy bar on any of these animals that Mario takes over and then kills once they are no longer necessary.
Well, it's an interesting question, right? In the same way that if you went to a group of people and possessed one of them, they might have more physical strength than the other. Does Mario have preferences for certain Goombas?
I do not believe Goombas have IVs in this game. That would be an interesting addition. Anyway, Topper acquired by Riler. Off to a good start. MrMcFee has been losing a lot of time in this kingdom.
Riler riding this bucking mecha brutal.
Well, the moment of truth upcoming, because this is the easy one. Can he get back on for target acquired? He does not. And this just became interesting.
Riler with the miss. Gonna have to get back to the top of this here Mecha Brutal.
Opportunity for MrMcFee to catch up. He is gonna be on Mecha Brutal. But the good news is that as soon as Riler gets a Pokio, wow, snipes it in midair and almost falls off of the box. And there it is. Riler with a fall, but able to recover quickly. Great recovery as MrMcFee now struggling to get up the Mecha Brutal. And he's got to get this quickly. There we go. Takes out
Missing
Rango.
a couple of butt stomps, but back up, back on the horse. The Mecha
Great
wooden
topper acquired from
horse.
MrMcFee.
Look at him
Even
go.
Troy learning new things about this game. Oh yeah, and join our Discord, where we talk about things, and Saren gives subtle hints to future tournaments that are happening soon. Trademark. MrMcFee having a little trouble getting Harriet there. Does not reassure confidence for target acquired. But he gets it.
And
So
yes!
Mr. McFee hits target acquired. Now, he's still a sizable amount behind, but he did catch up a significant amount. So if you guys took the spread on Mr. McFee, I think you're going to hit. If you took the money line on Mr. McFee, we're going to have to see something drastic in the Moon Kingdom, but I think it is doable.
No, absolutely. There's still Moon Cave skip. There's still a final Bowser fight. There's still pillars, folks. There's a lot of places where this run could change.
Mr. McFee just randomly swishes 2DSS and wins. There are certainly a lot of opportunities for Riler to lose minutes, as we're pointing out.
No, absolutely. Riler finding himself on the moon, dressed to the nines. Mario looking good. Is it his wedding? Is it messed up for him to dress this way for somebody else's event? Absolutely. A huge faux pas, fashion-wise and socially.
Ooh, Riler missing a jump. This might be a death. Is he going to save it? And thanks to the very low gravity of the Moon Kingdom, he is able to save it.
Truly some clutch moments from Riler in this run. It's really been incredible. And then,
including
a little bit of damage.
Barely staying on that ledge. We cannot see where Mario is. You're just going to have to... There we go. The white balance managing to level itself out. This is white on white on white in this level.
Absolutely. And here he comes. Up to Moon Cave skip. Gonna hop on the Sphinx. Do a little bounce on the walls. Riler looking good. Made it all the way up to the church. Didn't even have to play that portion of the level.
Great moon skip there. First try.
Troy of Athens saying Mario wearing just a tuxedo, which is totally fine for a wedding. Could not disagree more. This is not just a tuxedo. This is a beautiful white tuxedo, which he knows the groom is wearing. Unless Mario is in the bridal party, which the fact that it's his worst enemy getting married, I suspect he is not. This is
it is
a blunder.
Princess Peach's wedding, though, so he might make an exception.
That's true. In the same way that the bride's brother is always in the groom's bridal party,
right?
Mario could be
the groomal party.
On the list. The groomal party.
Yes.
Wow, quite a different looking moon cave skip. Wow.
Yeah, he only used the front wall. Some runners only cat off the side wall. He only used the front wall. That is a very interesting strategy.
Wow.
In any event, both of these runners with clean moon skips, you love to see it.
Mario here to ruin Bowser's big day.
I do not believe it is possible for Mr. McFee to PB. However, this is going to be right up against his PB. As long as he has a clean Bowser fight here. Meanwhile, Riler with 3 deaths, a number of big slip-ups, has kind of put him behind the 8 ball. He's down to 1 health. But he's going to finish off the... fight here.
This final tailspin that Bowser launches at the end of that fight, I would say I died to 300 times I'm playing this game.
I have 0 recollection because I have not fought Bowser in like 3 years.
That's fair. I remember every first thing that happened in this game. I remember my every move. It's imprinted in my memory. It was such a joyful day. Here's Riler making his escape from the moon, shooting fireballs to clear a path. Controlling Bowser.
He gets the triple jump. That will save him a bit of time. Mr. McFee on that last cycle. He does have enough health. We'll see what kind of shenanigans Riler goes for here in the 2D section. He is going for it.
Love it. Incredible 2D skip from Riler.
And now coming up upon the moment of truth, because if he falls on pillars now, this is Mr. McFee's race to lose.
Here he comes,
And
Mr.
sometimes it's
McFee.
not your fault. He could run into an invisible wall. I've seen it happen in runs before. I have
Oh, really?
seen multiple deaths on pillars in runs before. I've seen somebody spend 45 minutes trying to do 2D skip as a joke. That happened to Saren a while back in a third place race that somebody rage quit halfway through.
What we're getting at, folks, anything could happen. Here we see Mr. McFee coming up on 2D skip. Let's see.
He's not going to be able to do it. He's not going to be able to do it. He
doesn't even bother.
Took out one too many blocks. And, Riler dancing near the edge. But he is on the platform. He's got all 4 pillars. He's breaking the box. And that means that Riler is going to take the win in this first round group matchup. Remember, folks, this is group play. So Mr. McFee not eliminated. He will still have 2 more chances to pick up wins, as the top 2 will come out of each group of 4.
Great run from Riler. Incredible clutch plays throughout. Just every time you thought he was falling into the lava and luncheon, except for the one time he really did, he was able to pull it off, come back.
And those saves ended up being really important, because Mr. McFee is going to put up one of his best runs ever.
Absolutely, we're right up against it. McFee, a 106.32 as his PB.
He missed that pillar. He's going to have to go back for it. That's a shame.
Yeah, McFee is going to be within 20-30 seconds of his PB.
Yeah, I think Mr. McFee has a lot of potential to lower that PB. He's definitely a lot better than his PB indicates.
Absolutely.
Definitely has the potential to go at least sub 105.
This is that's 18 seconds off his PB.
This is, in fact, the very last race of round 1, so we are all wrapped up. We're going to see if...
No, it's not.
Okay, we're just being told in our headsets that there are still races to go. However, this is the last race of the night, and perhaps of the longer weekend as a whole.
Just like my father, Saren hopping in once a mistake is made and then bouncing out after it has been corrected.
Good callback.
Yeah, crushing it over here. McFee within a minute and 10 seconds of Riler and a 4-minute PB differential. So really punching above his weight comes Mr. McFee. Incredible run from both players.
It looks like we have Riler ready to be interviewed in a moment's time. That ended up being a really exciting race.
Yeah.
Mr. McFee, I think if he learns some of those more difficult strategies, he could definitely end up being one to watch in this tournament. As we welcome in the victorious Riler, congratulations. A bit of a scare there, and it looks like we have Mr. McFee as well. Great job to both runners.
Thank you.
Riler, we'll ask you this first. Any moments throughout the run where you really felt like a champion, like you pulled off something and were feeling good about yourself?
Riler, if you're talking, we cannot hear you. Okay, he's just
he bounced
out. Going to try to get his microphone working. Well, we'll talk to Mr. McFee. Really good run. Just within 18 seconds of your PB. So how did you feel about that run?
I felt like the early game wasn't my best, but I felt like I really pulled it back, especially in Ruin, Bowser's, and Moon. Those were my stronger kingdoms. So, yeah, I felt really good after that mech, especially, and that wall jump moon skip. One wall jump moon skip. That was
very swag.
Probably a highlight. Yeah.
Yeah, is that a strat you go for normally?
No.
Or was that a clutch play?
Yeah, I saw that I was behind, so I figured any time save is time save. So, Yeah, that's just why I went for it. And I also Golden Moon with that, so
Oh,
that
great!
was,
Congrats.
that was really
Yeah,
nice.
and I saw in the chat you almost golded Snow as well, so very solid run.
Yeah, if I hadn't missed Snowdram, that would have been a gold. So, yeah, that was that was a good
Uh,
that was a good
Mr.
fun
Mc,
race.
Mr. McPhee, we were talking so much about how it looked as though, based on your PB, you were kind of playing above what the PB would have indicated. How long have you been running this game?
I believe since like May of 2020. I think
Okay.
that's when I got my first timed run.
Very cool. Yeah, they're just it looks like you are maybe somebody to watch. Looks like you could be bringing that PB down as you move on.
Yeah, hopefully. I've been trying for a PB for a while, so hopefully that happens soon.
Along those lines, do you have any strategies in mind that maybe you want to try learning for a run to try to get that PB down? Because it looked like you were taking some of the safer strategies, and ultimately, I think Riler, despite his mistakes, got you just on maybe some more optimal strategies. So, is there anything that comes to mind that you want to learn?
I'd say definitely Nut Clip. I actually tried to go for it, but I missed it. That would save like 20 plus seconds over what I normally do, so I would say definitely Nut Clip. That's one that stands out to me.
And then I'll ask you this: is there any moment in the run that you feel like you handled it, you're looking forward to it, you know you're going to get back on track as soon as you get to a specific kingdom or moon?
I'd say Lost Kingdom. I think that was after I get the strat at the before the first moon, like at the very start of the kingdom. Meme Tree. It's a very great name. But I feel like after I get that I feel like I do very well in the rest of the kingdom.
Yeah, you can kind of relax into it.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, yeah, great run. Absolutely exciting to watch. Very fun.
Yeah, well done. Best of luck in your upcoming matchups.
All right, thank you.
And well done to Riler as well. I hope he's listening. That was a fantastic race. Definitely go follow both of these runners. Go follow both of us as well. We have definitely enjoyed bringing you this final race. And I know I've usually been around for a lot of these Odyssey runs. I just happen to have a really busy weekend, but I will definitely be around for next weekend's races. As you can see the breakdown on your screen. I'm not entirely sure who's going to be coming up and when for next weekend. We still got some scheduling to do, but loads more action here on the Speedrun channel. So do drop a follow if you're new. We have runs all the time, and we're going to be rating Switch runners. So, what's our raid message going to be, Michael?
God only knows, because I don't know what a raid message is.
God only knows because I don't know what a raid message is. That's your raid message.
Love it.
For Michael, I'm the AC Money. Wishing you good night and Urban Arts Partnership. Yes, it is a terrible raid message, I know.